Hello, my name is Martin and welcome back to another video. We're here in Stockport again. That down there is the River Goyt. When I say the River Mersey to you, what do you think of?
Liverpool.
Liverpool, exactly. That's what everyone thinks of, but I'm going to show you something. I'm going to show you where the Mersey starts. Okay, so while we're on the maps, because I know we like maps, the opening scene to this video, when we did the intro, we were just here. You can look at either map. We were just here by the River Goyt. The River Goyt is heading that way and it's going to join with the Tame and it's going to form the Mersey, as you know. But we were just here on this Millgate Bridge. And we didn't know at the time we're backing onto the Borough Cattle Market, which is now a big shop with a car park. And obviously when we looked across the river, there was some interesting stuff down here just by the weir. Why isn't the weir shown? That's odd, isn't it? Because there's the weir right in front of the bridge, but it's not shown on the old map on the left. But anyway, looks like that we looked across to, and that wall was part of the Millgate Foundry, iron foundry. Interesting stuff. Just thought I wanted to look at that for my own reasons, to be honest with you. Right, so here we are. It's a flipping noisy intro to this video, isn't it? Because we're right next to the M60, Manchester's outer ring road. Well, that is we're further down the Goyt there, and it's about to join up just behind the end of this concrete wall with the River Tame. I'll show you. The Tame down there meets with the Goyt and the River Mersey is born, and it flows onwards most of its time through South Manchester, out through Cheshire and onwards towards Liverpool. So yeah, I don't know why, if one joined the other, they don't keep one name and run that all the way to Liverpool. Why at the joining of two rivers does it take on a new name, or does it do that anywhere else? I don't know. But yeah, not the most prettiest of places, but the Tame meets the Goyt. Anyway, let's go somewhere quiet.
Yeah.
Too much noise. Just trying to find somewhere quiet to do the intro for this video. Hopefully down here should do it. There you go. Just a nice bit of a sewer outflow there for you. Let's have a look. That stinks. Anyway, we're down by the River Tame. Right, so we're in Stockport. We've looked at the two rivers, but really what we're going to talk about in this video is the Underbanks area of Stockport. So we're going to take a look there because it's a really old part of the town and there's some really interesting stuff. So let's head over now to the Underbanks area, a quaint little shopping place, and we'll check out some of the history around that part of Stockport. Okay, so this week we're in Stockport and we're just going to zoom in on the area. I'm going to show you the area that we're looking at. So as I've said, it's called Underbanks and it's a very interesting area of Stockport. Let's just zoom right in here. There you go, that's our area there. And you'll see it says Great Underbanks and Little Underbank. And that's a great little area just off the main shopping precinct in Stockport. There's the main shopping precinct there. And just behind it is this great quirky little area called Underbanks. Now the terrain here is really interesting. Lots of little alleyways and steps and sort of streets on two levels. So in a bit I'm going to go to another map and I'm going to try and explain why that possibly might be the case. But anyway, in the meantime, let's go and take a look at Stockport's oldest courthouse. Right, so the first place we're going to look at in Stockport, in the Underbanks area, is this little building here. So just come inside here. (1820s), this was a shop. Now, you can see how old it is. Look at the artwork going on here and the raw brick here. And do you know what these were for? Come over here. Do you know what these were for? These arches? For cold storage. So back in the 1820s, no fridges. So whatever they sold here had to go be stored down there, out the sunlight, in the darkness, to try and keep it fresh for as long as possible. But this building gets even more interesting because if we go through this little doorway here, we're going back in time to medieval times. This was the manorial court of Stockport. So all the offences back in medieval times were dealt with here. Collection of taxes, adjudication on small offences, all the bigger offences went over to Chester and to Lancaster. This wall here collapsed in the 1990s because the whole building was a lot bigger back then. There's something else interesting I'm going to show you just down these stairs here. So amazingly, this place has got its own dungeon for holding prisoners. There's a clue there on the floor, trapdoor on the floor there. But the stairs lead down to the dungeon, and I just happen to have my torch with me. So let's go and take a look down here. When I say dungeon, think more cell. I'm probably being a bit dramatic, but mind the steps, James. Rather steep. Take a look at this. Look at this. Imagine spending the night in here, eh? And that's that trapdoor there. I'll show you up there in a second, but I imagine that possibly when people were being held down there, they could open the trapdoor and just have a few words with them, or throw a bit of bread and water down, who knows, eh? But rather a miserable, cramped, confined space. Flags on the floors. Wow, a hole in the wall there. I don't know what that was for. Maybe it was a toilet or something. And on the other side is another dungeon. So I'm going to show you a rather interesting entrance to that one in a minute. But fascinating, isn't it? Brilliant, that, wasn't it? Now, this place ceased to be a courthouse in 1790. That's how far we're going back. It's almost, you almost can't comprehend, can you? But then a new court was built down by the river, that being the River Mersey. I'm going to tell you about one of the cases here. Just come and take a look at this chap here. Let me tell you about the case of John Dean. 1790, his crime. He murdered his wife while she was pregnant. Remember when I said that the more important cases went to Lancaster and Chester? Well, John Dean, and here he is, went to Chester where he was hanged. Now, he was the last man to be gibbeted in Stockport. What do I mean when I say gibbeted? His body was sent back to Stockport and he was put in this cage. And it was displayed just off the London Road, which is now the A6, for all to see. The birds probably represent the birds that came and feasted on his dead body. Horrific. That was 1790, John Dean. Remember when I said there was two cells? Well, this little door in the side of this building is the entrance to the other cell. Just come and take a look at this. That's the other cell in there. Put the light on for you. Another dim and dismal place for you to stay overnight. I bet there were no beds in there. Well, how old is that? And you can see the hole on the end there. See that? That was through to the other cell where we were taking a look at. Okay, so here's another view of the Underbanks area. All right, the map on the left is 1892 to 1914, and the map on the right is a LIDAR map, however you want to say it. There's our area that we're going to look at, Little Underbank. All right, and I want to just explain the topography or the geology, if you like. Not that I'm getting a bit technical now, I'm getting a bit beyond my means, aren't I? But there you go, Little Underbank, and that's the old map, 1892, 1914. This is all courtesy of National Libraries of Scotland. But as you see on the cursor on the right, see how we're in like a bit of a valley there. Alright, so, and we run down here. If you go along here, we run down to the River Mersey there. Alright, so there's Little Underbank. That's the area we're looking at. And you'll see that because we're in a valley, we've got streets above us here. Alright, so this is what you'll see later in the video. And you'll see lots of little steps going up from Little Underbank and everything. But I have a theory on this, and I could be wrong, I could be right. If we go down here, looking at the left-hand map now, you'll see we've got a water course there, bit of an old reservoir, of which, if you look at the right, it's the ditch is still there. That reservoir's now gone. But if you look over here, what have we got? This water course. This is the Hempshire Brook. Now, Stockport is built on this red sandstone, and my theory is that the Hempshire Brook that's coming along here, heading towards the River Mersey, is possibly cut this area, this valley here where Little Underbank is. I could be wrong, but it could have cut that valley obviously many years ago, and that's why you've got either side, you've got these outcrops of sandstone, and this was cut, like I say, many years ago by the Hempshire Brook. Now, could be right. I'm only offering a theory for why Stockport is the way it is. Very hilly, lots of little streets at one level, streets at a higher level. There's also around here the Tin Brook, which isn't shown on this because at this stage now it's buried underground in a culvert. But I don't doubt the Tin Brook makes a contribution somewhere as well. But I'm just offering a theory here. I wonder if it was the Hempshire Brook that many years ago, you can see it there on the right on its little valley, if it cut that little gouge out where Underbank is, and then there were shops built along here. And when you go in these shops that line Little Underbank, because they're in this little sandstone valley, the tops and the backs of the shops back onto sandstone. So the whole of Stockport is kind of built on sandstone. There's kind of like natural cliffs, and you'll see these buildings built right up to the edge of the bedrock of the town. And later in the video I'll show you evidence of how that sandstone was utilised. People built dwellings along here and utilised and sort of like excavated into the sandstone, and there's still evidence of that. Anyway, but we'll come to that later. But there you go, bit of speculation there. Am I right? Could be right. I'm not a geologist, but I'm just offering a theory. Let's crack on with the video. So we're heading off now to another fascinating area of Underbanks in Stockport, a shop called Winters that's got quite a history to it. Right, this building here covered in scaffolding and the green sort of mesh. This was a shop called Winters, a very famous shop in Stockport, a very grand jewellers apparently. It's like this because it's been restored back to its former glory. It's got a story though, a fascinating story. We're going to go inside in a minute and take a look at the work that's being done, but let me fill you in on the details about this place. It's safe to say that you don't get shop frontages like Winters anymore. This really was a fantastic place. It was the jewellers, clockmakers, clockhouse as you see there. Look at that shop frontage. Now let me tell you a little bit about the history of this place, and we'll look in detail at the shop front. Okay, so the building you see in front of you there is 23 to 27 Little Underbank, and it was built in the early 1800s. In 1890, Jacob Winter took on the lease and converted the building to a jeweller's and a clockmaker's. Now, business was booming by 1904, and what he did was he did the front of the shop up. He introduced three figures, as you see here, Father Time in the centre, with a sailor and a soldier either side. There was also a mechanical clock, as you see, and there was bells above each of the figures. Now apparently the clock is extremely rare, and there's only two examples in the world, the other one being on display at the Ford Museum in Michigan, USA. Now the other amazing and eccentric thing about this shop was that Jacob Winter introduced a shop front that would can be lowered in its entirety into a vault in the basement and was powered by hydraulics fed by spring water. This really was an amazing place. So you had this wonderful stuff on the outside, the sculptures and the carvings and the bell and the clock, and then the whole shop front with all the fancy expensive goods could be lowered down into the cellar. So let's take a look inside and see what remains of this place. Okay, so as we go inside, you just see remnants of how it used to look. It must have been very fancy. You can see there goldsmiths. It would have said jewellers, watchmakers, clockmakers. Clock the floor there, the entrance, because that is what's under that covering, the original entrance. And in the 1990s, this place was converted into a wine bar. Again, a bit of the frontage there. That's all going to be restored. And like I say, you can just see how fancy it was on the outside. It really must have been an amazing place, an occasion to go and shop there. As we go inside, what we'll do is we'll go, you see all the builders here and all the developers trying to thrash out how it's going to be restored. It will be a restaurant when it's finished, but that's not a bad thing because it means the building's got a future. But we'll go down into the cellar because there's something I want to show you. Do you remember when I talked about that shop front? The entire front could be wound down. And Jacob Winter, he patented the system that was powered by spring water. That's part of the original pulley system that wound the shop front down. Now, don't ask me how this worked, but that's staying put apparently, which is great. And somebody must have gone down at the end of the business of the day and wound the entire shop front down into the cellar, and it was all safe and secure down there. And as we looked round the cellar, there was more evidence, some counterweights here, possibly for the clock mechanism maybe. Now as we go upstairs, you can see they're doing the floor up here, but on the outer wall you can see where the clocks and the figures were mounted there. Not the nuts and bolts, I think they're new. But the figures, what became of them? Where are they? What's going to happen to them? Well, amazingly, they're all here still in Winters, and they're all getting wrapped up and sent off to be lovingly restored. Now, we filmed this in April 2021, roughly, and I'm putting this out in August 2021. So in a few months, maybe, you better go to Little Underbanks and see the shop front, how it used to be. There's the bell, and I think we're going to see some of the clock as well. So it's so amazing that this has been all saved and put together, and like I say, it's going to be sent off and restored. I can't wait to get back in Stockport when all that scaffolding's down and to look at the front of Winters and see how it all looks. It's going to be really, really good, to be honest with you. I'm really pleased I saw this. Right, all this exploring around Stockport is quite thirsty work, isn't it?
Yeah.
Brew?
Oh yeah.
Oh God. You know when you get
No, you can go on a bit. I'm not paying money again. Last time you cried to get off it. I'm not putting you on it, paying £2 and then you cry to come off it. Well, there's no way you'll get me drinking an oat milk latte. Oat milk?
Oi. Decent.
You've got oat milk in yours?
Yeah.
We've gone from, what is it? Skimmed UHT to oat milk. Actually, secretly, I quite like oat milk. Quick, let's go and do something with credibility and climb down the ladder to a sewer. Now the next sequence is a complete and utter fail, and possibly one of the most interesting parts of the video, isn't it?
Yeah.
So we're going to take a look at a premises, and inside is a hidden shaft, and we were desperate to get down this shaft, but I'm warning you now, we don't get down there, but I'll put it in the video anyway. It should be one of those things I shouldn't include really, because people give you thumbs down for it, don't they? Like, you didn't get down that shaft, but I'll show it you anyway, and it'll be something on the menu for later if we can get back, won't it? Yeah. So here we go, the unknown shaft. But first, some background information. There's the Queen's Head pub. This shot also illustrates how Stockport's on many different levels, but let's crack on because I make a bit of a sod of this. There's the Queen's Head pub. We spin round and you'll see a building coming into view now with an arch in it. See that building there? Right, so That building used to be a distillery. It was many other things as well, which I'll tell you about, but it used to be a distillery. There is a connection between that building, the distillery, and the Queen's Head pub across the way. I'm going to show you that connection now. Sorry I couldn't show you the building in full. I racked my brains thinking, did I not film the building properly? And I didn't. I got the Queen's Head, didn't get the building opposite. But we're going to go where that arch is. That's a set of steps you can go up, sort of at the side of the building. But we're going to go actually into the building, and I'm going to show you something. Right, this is my favourite bit. This building used to be a distillery, Turner's Distillery. Over there, just out the window, and it'll go dark because the exposure's, the light's coming in, was a pub called the Queen's Head. There's something extremely interesting in this building. In the past, it's been the Stockport Savings Bank, and it was a school on different floors. We'll just come and take a look at these very modern toilets that hide something very old, and we don't know what it is. Come and look at this. Right, a shower cubicle. Shower cubicle. But look down there. No idea. The shaft. So what is that? It's amazing. I want to go down there and take a look. The theory is that because the pub was across there, the pub apparently had the distillery built. We think that there was barrel storage down there, and they took the barrels across to the pub. But we're not quite sure. We're not quite sure where it goes, which way it goes. But one thing I can tell you, no one's been down there for a very, very long time. It was found by accident while they were renovating this building. This building is going to be like one of those co-working spaces where people come and do office work. But I think that is amazing. And it's fantastic that they put the little hatch here so you can still take a look at it, because it could have been covered over that and forgotten forever. I wonder if I can go down there. Right, this is the complete fail. But God loves a trier, and I tried for you. But you're about to see me fail. Well look, a ladder has magically appeared. Right, it's a bit dodgy because it's footing it at the bottom, and it's squeezing past. Let me just show you, it's squeezing past this bit here. It's squeezing past that when it gets tight there. So it's just squeezing down there. We'll just see what we can do.
Breathe in.
I'm going to have to breathe in, aren't I? You know what I need to do, and just set the edge of it, don't I?
Is that right?
Yeah, I hope. You are filming me, aren't you?
Yeah.
I ain't doing this twice. This is going to be a squeeze, you know, a mega squeeze.
I think we told the top.
Yeah, you can do. Oh, actually doesn't. Shit. Oh, you're going to get down there, James.
I think I'll be alright.
You think?
Yeah.
Just come.
Just get under there.
They've made this thing too tight. You getting this, James?
Yeah.
Okay, you at some point got to pass me the GoPro.
And the light.
Yeah. You getting it?
Mind wanting it?
What I'll do, film me going down, and then I'll
Do you want the light?
I'll come back up. I'm going to need it in a minute. Just give me a sec.
Is it tight?
It's very tight.
You can feel the cold.
Give me a sec. Okay, can you pass? Am I too low down now? Okay.
You want the light?
I'm going to need the light, yeah. Right, I'm going to sec. I'm just going to stop filming. Right, and at that point, the panic set in, although I didn't actually panic. This is the sequence again. Right, the hatch is too small. Once you get a ladder in, the hatch is too small. It needs to be further towards the toilet, but obviously I realise they couldn't have done that. Once you go down into the shaft, you're kind of all right. But at the bottom of the shaft, as you see from this photograph, it's another weird shape, and you would have to squeeze past that sort of slanted bit at the bottom, if you like. As I tried to come up, I realised just how much I'd squeezed to get in, because I started to come up. I was thinking, oh my God, I can't get out. So I'm kind of lifting my clothes up. I'm trying to squeeze, hold my belly in, call me a fat bastard, whatever you want to do, call it me. But I completely and utterly failed at this point. So where I am now, I knew I weren't going to be able to get down any further. And when I started to come up, it was horrible, because I started to feel trapped and I started to feel like I couldn't get out. So I know exactly what I need to do. If we go back, we need to obviously not go down with a ladder. We need to abseil in. We need to rig a little thing above it and lower a man down and wear hard hats and have safety equipment and all the rest of it, blah, blah, blah. So I know what we need to do. If we get a chance to go back, we'll do that, or at the very least, we'll lower a camera down there. But we were just chancing it that day. We had a set of ladders, let's give it a go, and that's all it was. So what's down the bottom of there will have to be for a future video. So Fatty failed on this occasion, but you'd need to be either very, very tiny, or you'd need to take the ladder out of the equation to be able to get down there. We'll try again in the future. You know what I started to think then?
What?
Fire brigade. So I fared better on this ladder than I did on that ladder in the shaft. I know I shouldn't have shown it because it's a complete and utter failure, but honestly, it was truly awful. In all the videos I've done, I've never felt like that, and I felt claustrophobic. I'm alright as long as I can move my arms and stuff like that. Once I can't move my arms and I'm like that, that's when the claustrophobia kicks in. And on that ladder, I was having to stop myself from having a mini panic. It was horrible. So, complete and utter fail. Probably shouldn't have even shown the clip. If we can get back there and drop something down that shaft and show you what's in that basement area, I will do. But failing that, we'll see what happens.
Right, I'm going to show you a very famous spot here where Lowry did a painting. Come here.
There you go. So Stockport is famously built on the sandstone cliffs, and here they are. And this part of the Underbanks area, you can see evidence of where there's probably been old buildings backed onto this sandstone wall, cliff, whatever you want to call it, and they've actually excavated into the rock to probably create additional storage space. I don't think it's any more than that, but you can see that garage there goes into the rock. Evidence of a chimney there as well. I was really intrigued by all this. Soot marks there, look at that, brilliant. Now I've no dates or can't show you any photos of what was here. You can just come down and take a look yourself. We're very much in the area of the Tin Brook as well around here, because that's beneath our feet somewhere. Let's take a look up this chimney. There you go. That's a bit of a brick flue, that one, because as we come back out you can see there's been some sort of building backed onto this, and we're actually looking at bricks. But my God, how old are those buildings that were there? Well, there you go. That's the red sandstone that is famous, outcropping all around the Stockport area.
So there you go, some interesting stuff of the Underbanks of Stockport.
So, hope you enjoyed the video. Thanks very much for watching. Take care, and I shall see you in the next one. Got to go and go in that little roundabout now.
The roundabout?
Yeah, you want to go in that roundabout, don't you?